Welcome and hello. I'm Dena Spinks, and this is my wonderful business partner, Melissa Watts. And together we are Notary Know How. Welcome to this week's edition of Tuesday Table Talk.
So this week on Tuesday's Table Talk, we're going to talk about your surety bond and E&O insurance. So most of you on here probably already know what the difference is between your surety bond and your E&O insurance. But for those of you who don't know, let's take a quick look at it. First of all, since most of you in our viewing area are from Alabama and we are an Alabama-based business, let's talk about the fact, I just want to throw this out there, that Alabama has the highest surety bond in the United States at $50,000 as of September the 1st, 2023. And the main difference is that your surety bond is to protect the state, not you, in the event of a lawsuit. And your E&O insurance protects you. And we'll get into the specifics of that in a little bit. And we'll talk about some examples as well. But for now, we won't bore you with some specifics about how a surety bond actually works, but it's very important that you understand. Dena?
That's right, Melissa. So, specifically, a notary surety bond does not protect or provide coverage to the owner of the policy. It is written to protect, indemnify, or provide a financial guarantee to the state and its taxpayers. If the state is damaged financially by a notary's violation of the bonding terms and conditions, then a claim may be filed against the bond. The claim is then investigated by the state, and if determined to be valid, the insurance company and the notary are liable for any damages up to the full amount of the bond.
That's right. So let me give you an example of that specifically. Oh, and by the way, a link to this case is in the description below if you want to take the time to read it in detail. But basically, the notary signed an acknowledgement for the transfer of property without carefully reading the acknowledgement. And just to kind of give some background information on that, the property was actually owned by a holding company. And a man showed up claiming that he had the right to execute the documents as vice president of the company. However, the acknowledgement was very specific and it listed the president of the company by name. And then it further stated in the acknowledgement that the president of the company was known by the notary. Obviously, the notary did not perform her duties accurately. And I don't know if she was pressured to sign the papers by this vice president of the company or what happened, but she should never have notarized that acknowledgement. And because the deed was then recorded at the courthouse, at the probate judge's office, this caused additional damages not only to the individual that owned the company, but it caused damages to the company itself and the property, who the property was in the name of, but it also caused hardship for the state of Alabama. Thus, a claim was filed against her bond. However, after a lot of litigation and everything, the case was eventually dismissed because it was found that the statute of limitations had run out before they filed the claim. And so that's one of those things you don't want to get into. So slow down, read everything, take your time, and be sure that you are performing your duties accurately so that that doesn't happen with your bond. So now that we've seen how a surety bond works, let's talk about your E&O insurance. So what is E&O insurance? Well, very simply put, E&O insurance is errors and omissions insurance. It protects you and your business from financial losses due to an error or an omission, whether it was intentional or unintentional during the completion of your notarial act. And I highly recommend that you acquire a minimum of $25,000 in E&O insurance. But if you decide to expand your business into performing notarial acts other than general notarial work, you may choose to carry more insurance. So like most companies, most hiring companies will not hire you without a minimum of $25,000 of notary loan signing agent insurance, E&O insurance. So we'll get into the specifics about what that is in just a minute, but at least you've got an example of how the bond works. And now Dena's going to share with you about an example about how the E&O insurance works.
Yes. So we have a case that we are going to look at, and it is one of those people that was just so happy, as my dad and Melissa told me her dad used to call it too. Literally, people that will supplement their income by finding reasons to sue somebody, even when the case is just absurd. A lot of times, the person being sued will pay just about anything to keep from being dragged into the court. This particular case can be found in detail on the NNA website. This case involved a power of attorney. At the time, the individual was in the hospital, and the document was giving the signer's friend POA over medical and legal affairs while in the hospital. Later, the signer filed suit against the notary, claiming he did not know what he was signing. The case was eventually dismissed because the signer was found to be one of those sue happy people. Later, he came back and tried to sue the notary a second time. Thankfully, it too was dismissed. In both instances, his E&O insurance had him covered.
Yeah, and that's so important. I just couldn't imagine the legal fees having to go through all of that without good E&O insurance. So both of these cases that we talked about, the one for the surety bond and the one for your E&O insurance, just barely scratched the surface. So we want to be sure that you understand your coverage and your rights. So let's talk about another kind of coverage, notary loan signing agent E&O insurance, and why you need it.
So, notary loan signing E&O insurance differs from regular E&O insurance in that it covers not only the documents that you notarized, but it covers all of the other documents that have to be signed by the borrowers that do not require notarization. For example, the universal residential loan application. Okay.
Yes.
The notary presents that document, they briefly describe it to the signer, and they point to exactly where they need to sign. So if something is not signed in the right place, you may very well be responsible because you were the one showing them where to sign. Okay. The U.S. Patriot Act form. No, the borrower does not sign that one. The notary actually signs that themselves because you have to write the person's identification information on there and certify that you did view it and you did verify their identity. If it's not filled out correctly, that could cause that package to not get processed. So the notary could very well be held at fault for any other documents that they handled that did not require notarization.
Exactly. For those of you who are not yet notary loan signing agents, a notary loan signing package could have as much as 30 separate documents that have to be signed, and maybe only 5 of them require your notarization. So you've got to have coverage for the others, for the other 25 documents in there that do not require notarization.
Right.
So, yeah, I know we've covered a lot of information today. And if you have any questions whatsoever about your surety bond or your E&O insurance, I'll be happy to take a look at it for you, regardless of who you purchased it from. I just want to be sure that you understand your coverage and your rights and whether it is adequate for the notary business that you currently have and whether it's going to be adequate for the notary business that you intend to grow into this year in 2024. But also, if you do need to purchase notary loan signing agent E&O insurance and you purchased your E&O insurance from someone else, they may not. I know currently the NNA does not provide the loan signing agent E&O insurance, but just feel free to reach out to us and we'll be glad to go over with you. You can feel free to send me an email at insurance@notaryknowhow.org or give me a call at 205-390-8777 and let's talk about it.
Yes, yes. And, I really love how we looked at a couple of cases today. I'm going off script, but I'm going to talk to Melissa and ask her what she thinks about us bringing you more cases in the future, because I think it's a good way to keep you informed about what happens out there in the field and pitfalls to look out for and ways to keep yourself safe. We are here for you. We want you to be successful in your notary business. And this is just one way that we are trying to help you be a notary in the know. So thank you for joining us today. We cannot stress enough how important Errors and Omissions Insurance truly is.
Yes.
Like Melissa said, she is a state of Alabama licensed insurance producer, and we do offer Errors and Omissions Insurance and notary bonds on our website. So be sure to check us out at www.notaryknowhow.org. We do have a link in the description below. And make sure you sign up for our email subscription list to always be in the loop on the latest. So until next time, stick with Notary Know How and be a notary in the know.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.